Thank you for listening. This is kwcr Wildcat Radio from Weber State University. Today with Fukushima News. William Blanche, PhD.
So we got a lot to talk about. We're really going to dive into the Waters curse. Dr. Handley has passed away, and Waters curse got on. I'm going to really dive into the history of the School of Business here at Weber, and he was a gem. And we'll talk sports. He was an All-American football player. He played in the NFL. 1968, Weber State played in the national championship game. They lost. So this madness start. But first off, we'll get the news out of the way. Of course, Putin has launched another, this is the second one, bigger one, floating nuclear reactor. And you say, well, the United States has them. They're called nuclear submarines. And, you know, warships, they're running it, but those are little nukes, but they still got nukes on them. You know, they desal water also, which is another big deal. I can get into that USS Reagan, but this is a whole different animal. This is a big old beast. The insanity, the nuclear insanity goes in earnest. So the other news in California is really big on, you know, the whole sham of General Electric. So why would they possibly build a gas plant in the Mojave Desert? And GE did. So GE's come out this week and says we're going to close it 20 years early. Do you think? I cannot overstate this. This is the greatest success environmentalism history in this country is the California Solar Initiative. It is the greatest success in environmental history. Now, why have other states not done it? They did, but here they tag a fee to it. And that's what kills it. So California went in and says, look, we're going to put a solar initiative. And oh boy, did it work. Everything's a solar. California is producing upwards of 200% solar energy a day they can use. Now think about that. You put a gas plant, gee, in the Mojave Desert. Well, we do it here in Utah. Sun shines all day, every day, 300 days a year. You see any solar here? Oh, hell no, hell no. We got to have freaking, you know, let's build a nuclear reactor. Let's get some little new scale reactors. So Hill, who I'm one of the original guys, we got to fight. So first I want to, you know, we've got some good stuff going there. You know, I'm still mad at them. Don't get me wrong. You know, the nuclear waste coming to our place, but they did get the study out that shows that solar much cheaper per watt of electricity than a nuclear reactor. Hello, up is down. I mean, thank you, Mrs. Obvious. Tell us where babies come from. It's the political process. So let's dive right into leukemia and cancer. And first off, I'll give updates. So this is really important, very emotional for me the last few days for our family. As you know, my little great nephew's fighting for his life, primary children's with a neuroblastoma. We got Rakata Iki in Japan fighting for her life with AML leukemia, the cover-up. Of course, Brian, who has the exact identical disease as I do. So, 9 years out. I'm 7. It came back. We have de novo, OS, which is a death sentence. We're the only two we know of survivable. The chemo, of course, taints your bone marrow big time, but we have no other option. We're on death's doorstep. 9 years later. So he finally had to have a bone marrow transplant. He had it in November. It failed. He's 3 years old. I mean, this guy's a beast. Middle linebacker, 1975 East High School championship team, and then we'll talk about Dr. Handley. So there's a new half-match program out there. And this is important to all you people who have loved ones, leukemia, blah, blah, AML, the killer. So they're not doing full matches. Now, I have a twin sister, so I was, you know, full match. No. We had a half match all lined up. Believe it or not, it was a young woman from Manhattan, you know, in the bank. I was too sick. Brian didn't have one. I decided not to do one based on his path, and I fought it. You've seen I've been pretty organic, you know, intense, radical. You've seen what a fight. So his bone marrow transplant he got from his son. By the way, the son named Winston. Can't make that up. And I said, you name him after 1984? No, he's older than that, but What do you mean older than that? I said, that book was written in 1948. Said, no, but it failed. So we have a new treatment in this country. You know, we're pioneering some stuff at LDSE State Bone Marrow Transplant. We have a West 8 now, too. Kimbo Peterson, Dr. Vincent Hansen, Dr. Ford, pioneering. Incredible unit. Not the luxury of good death up there in Huntsman, but they partner with them. So they have this new stem cell boost for the bone marrow transplant. He was the 4th one to get it. 4th one. 3 of the 4 are alive. So I've been really worried. His platelets were as low as 3. They've been keeping him alive with blood transfusions over and over and over and over. I've been a wreck. So I finally talked to him this morning. It looks like it's worked. His platelets have boosted clear up to 80. His bone marrow is producing. I mean, I started to cry. So let's talk about the Wattis curse. And I want to record a history of our incredible school of business here that was hijacked and destroyed by dirty Governor Herbert. The professors that are over there are absolute disgrace. And nothing violates me more than this. That program meant everything to so many people for a long, long time on this campus. For decades. They stole it when Dr. Cooley died. So let's start right off the get. Dr. Hanley, who was the head of the business administration over there. Again, All-American football player. What a presence. He got leukemia at the same time I did. He and I talked a long time ago. He passed away this week, way too young. He was a beast. Incredible condition. I think he was a defensive end, and I mean a beast. Pretty sure he played in the NFL. His presence was powerful. He didn't teach much. He ran the show, let Dr. Cooley and others do the teaching. But it's evil. The leukemia didn't take him. He was doing so well with it. Its evil twin took him. Dementia. We have a major outbreak of dementia in this country. It's very sad. It took him down and killed him in his 70s. Early 70s. So let's dive right in. So the infamous Wattis School of Business at Weber State University. This is important that I get this up, and I've been wanting to do this for a while to record history. The #1 undergraduate program in the country. 9 consecutive years. I think 13 of 14 years. We were kind of like the 60s Celtics. We'd beat Wharton. We'd beat, via testing. No opinion. No opinion. Yeah, one guy, the legendary finance professor, Clyde Cooley. Beast, Dr. Hanley, Dr. Chi. Whoa, go through the program. When I graduated in the second time, 76, I came back. There were 17 of us graduated at a BA. Clyde Cooley's average grade, I believe, was a D+. Average. I think they started out with several hundred. This is how vicious it was. They were Hamiltonians, they were protectionists, they taught ethics out the yin yang, and there was no wavering. I mean, get through that program. Oh, and he produced some of the greatest financial minds in the history of this country. What happened? We had a contract with Utah State. Utah State had an MBA program here. So Utah State's MBA program wouldn't allow us by law to have an MBA. 1999, Clyde Cooley politics. They're like, he says, we're #1 in the country 9 consecutive years via the testing. I used to tell him, oh, you threw my score out. He laughed. I have his last letter of recommendation he ever wrote. It's in the Stewart Library. I was working on Wall Street in those days. You know, I had my class in business, but what a powerhouse university. It was small, it was boutique, and everybody recognized it from walls anywhere. We used to beat Wharton. That's Trump's school. At Penn, the Ivy Leaguers. We'd beat Harvard via testing. So the state finally cracked the law and says, yes, you get an MBA program. Every elitist, you name it, in the world flocked here, wanted here to get in. I'm like, I get the first one. I get the first one. And I used to call the secretary over there and I says, you know, anybody register with an A? I want that B. But you know, you'll be the first. You'll be the first. So it started in the fall of '99. Clyde Cooley's baby. I come home. You know, my Wall Street career, everything that I was doing in those days. Where's Clyde? You haven't heard? August 20th. I mean, the very last of the summer semester. Just a week or two before this thing. He snapped in his brain in the classroom. Students let him out. He had mad cow. He had BAC in the prime of his life. Oh yeah, he lived in Bountiful. Stericycle burns it into the atmosphere, the only medical incinerator in this hemisphere that burns. Oh yeah, absolutely. Think it's rare? Happens more than you think. Ate him away and killed him so fast. The most brilliant mind I ever knew. So Kyle Matson stepped in. He's new. He's a local guy from here. He'd been back in Rochester at the University of Syracuse. Kevin, what are we going to do? I got to tell you, you got to help me. I don't have an MBA. We'll give you the first MBA. You've got to do this. You got to help me. I'll help you. So for 5 years, I did. My anti-nuclear stance, I was a hardcore anti-nuclear then. A fight emerged within the school. When Clyde Cooley died, Dr. Chi, the Utah State Economic Development Governor, this is before Governor Herbert, had been kicking around this idea that they wanted to become Utah to be the hub for the supply chain oligarchy, slave-made goods out of China. Clyde Cooley would have none of it. None of it. He says, are you kidding? We're ethical here. We don't freaking... We're Hamiltonians. We're protectionists. Again, #1, 9 years in a row. He'd have none of it. Well, when he died, the vultures over there, they saw it crack in the door. Dr. Handley would have none of it. He was a presence. I mean, he respected me so much. He always treated me very well. And I'll tell you what, he was an intimidating presence. Whoa. Whoa. So when they finally kept fighting, 2005, finally everybody had it. Says, really, you're going to do this? You're going to gut the #1 school of business in the country? You're going to destroy it? Get through that program. Get that through program. You know, like I said, get through Clyde Cooley's program. Get through all of them. Dr. Chi, Dr. Handley, freaking off. Whoa, whoa. He was a beast. I taught with Matt Godfrey there for a little while. Side by side, yeah, that crooked governor, or excuse me, mayor of Ogden, who looted this and then fled. So they slowly, here comes John Chemical Huntsman. I will never forgive him. I will never forgive him. The Huntsman, luxury good of death up there on the hill. Not my words, LDS Hospital calls him the luxury good of death. This cutting edge bone marrow transplant that I was lucky enough to get into. Guy from Denmark. Vincent Hansen, Fimbo Peterson, Dr. Ford. I mean, it's cutting edge. It's world renowned. World renowned now. I was lucky enough to get in. So they hijack our program. Huntsman hands us Dirty Herbie, the biggest liar this state's ever seen, the most corrupt governor in the history of this state, bar none. And why do I say that? His father died of leukemia. Just like Mike Lee right here. Mike Lee's father died of cancer, young, very young. And he got caught red-handed bringing nuclear waste in from the Italian, illegally. He should have went to prison for it. But no. You know, pull yourself up by your spook spramps, do as I say, not as I do, Mike Lee. One of the biggest liars who ever walked the face of the earth. Who got $600,000 in a bank ballot. Google it. His house was foreclosed on as a sitting United States Senator. J.P. Morgan took the short sale and ate it. This is the corrupt. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Oh, like you did, Mike? Caught putting nuclear waste into our place when his father died, so they don't care. Oh, my dad was a downwinder, Kevin. You can look it up on YouTube. You're not. So they got it. They're like, we're switching this from finance and economics, the #1 school business in the United States, to supply chain. Sold it to us that it was going to be for the military. Everybody resigned. Everybody, you know, I wasn't tenured. An adjunct. So the fight was on. Oh, I raised so much hell. They took, I mean, my credentials at this university, I have enough credits for dozens of probably degrees if I applied for them, but I'm a BIS guy. I'm a big believer in a broad education. I'm not a believer in a degree. I'm a believer in the education. I took classes I did not have to take. I took art classes. I took finance classes. I mean, all disciplines. I mean, my transcript will show you that. Taught that program, but my anti-nuclear, this is the Water School of Business. That's who built the reactors around the world. That's who built up the, the Wattis Art School, the famous Wattis Art School in San Francisco, same one here. They're from here. Brigham Young's granddaughter, Phyllis Wattis. That's who the endowment is. That's the thing standard for that machine. By the way, E.O. Wattis, the Wattis curse, as I call it, died of leukemia 3 days after they got the contract to build Hoover Dam. So, I call it the Wattis curse. Over there in that black building, that talked about tearing it down, whatever, the amount of cancer in that building is staggering. I talk to people that, what, huh? They don't even know, because they're all new. None of them are from here. Dr. Cooley dead, Dr. Handley dead, I've got leukemia, Dr. Lishford dead. I can go on and on and on and on and on. I call it the Wattis curse. Let's talk sports metaphors. As we open up in San Diego, I'll be there, I'll do the play-by-play. So this is a big story breaking on the NCAA, and we'll talk more about the legacy of this school of business. We rank #1 in the country. I believe the testing, they only test 500 and some on. They tested 480 something 1 year, 512 something. Yet they doubled their salary. The school, I had a guy tell me that's teaching economics, my class, which is, I'm from Indiana. We don't have good enough, smart enough students here in Utah. What? We need a curriculum. Are you kidding me? You think these kids can't freaking Google? We have 5 top business schools. I mean, the guys who used to run that school are down at Westminster. They're at the University of Utah. Huh. BYU, LDS Business School. Why are they going to come here? You don't think they can read a score? I almost punched him. This is the derelicts that they have, and they've doubled their salary, and they're arrogant about it, and they're pathetic as hell. Dr. Handley left because of this. How do you go from #1, this is an opinionated, to 500 and double your salaries and then run your mouths like that? Corruption, that's how. They're all Chinese students who are billionaire freaking slave owners in China, bringing our goods. That's what the new Inland Port's all about in Utah. Dirty Herbie calls himself a Christian. How do you call Christian? I says, usury? We're going to turn ourselves into usury university? Which we've done. You can look it up. The professor's still over there, the Chinese professor over there, who's on the Utah State Economic Advisory Board, who teaches there. It made international headlines all over the world. We go from Clyde Cooley's #1 program in the country to making international headlines. She forbid her students and told legislators when the Dalai Lama was here in Utah, she forbid them to go see the Dalai Lama. Look it up. Look it up. You don't believe me? It's an outrage. This corruption here is outrageous. Let's get to the NCAA ruling today in California quickly. California's passed a law that the student athlete can promote their own jersey, their own name, just promote who they are and make money off themselves. Hey, I'm, a student athlete. I'm Damian Lillard. I play basketball at Weber State. Here, buy my jersey, buy me, the background. The NCAA came out today and says, we'll pull all bowls on you. We'll pull over there. California says, good, we'll have our own. Who do they think they are? Honestly, this is a state university funded by the state taxes. This is a state university funded by taxpayers. Local. Who do these people think they are? The NCAA. We did the game this year up there at Michigan. They're like, we had trouble with our own credentials here at the, student radio. I'm like, are you kidding me? Oh, we own all rights. You own these players? Year-to-year contracts? It's outrageous, the slavery the NCAA is pulling off. We've got to stop it. At some point, it has to end. They're not part of the university. The NCAA is not part of the university. It's a group of lawyers. It's a private corporation that's making billions. The Chick-fil-A halftime freaking, the good hands extra point. The Dr. Pepper field goal kick, the AT&T 2-minute warning, the freaking, 1-and-1 by Chick-fil-A, the Papa John midget tasting pizza freaking 2-minute and 20-second fucking warning. I mean, it's insanity. The slavery, the usury is insane, and then they call themselves Christians. I was given 2 months to live, as you know, 2011. The golf coach here got leukemia the same time as I did. He died, AML. What's his name? The famous African-American professor. He died of leukemia. I go on and on and on and on. Jay's wife, the coach of Weber State football, they made such a big deal over this. It's kind of, it's embarrassing actually, because she had CLL. I mean, cancer's cancer, and I appreciate it. And she's out of the woods, and but oh God, they didn't make any big deal out of any of these other. Dr. Cooley, I don't see a statue of him. The #1 finance professor in the United States, bar none. Where's he? That ain't not a word. Dr. Hanley? We'll see. We'll see. You know, they had Brent Taylor's funeral up here at the Free Event Center. So the Farr boy, who I know well, spent 2 tours in Iraq. He blew his head off this week. I told him up here, you gonna have a parade for him? You gonna have a parade for him? He's a combat Marine. You know how many of them freaking die a week in this state? A week. You know, they've given their lives. I don't see no parade for them. What is the matter with this place? What has happened? So back to the School of Business, the Wattis Curse. Let's talk sport metaphorically, Wattis Curse. I'm going to give you a history in Weber State athletics. This is a really good story here that I can't believe people don't talk about it. The greatest basketball player in this legendary basketball program, they won the national championship in JC in 1959, I believe. Dick Conley was my coach. He was on that team. He was a gem, by the way. He worked for me at the end. You know, Alan Blanche's classroom. At the end of his life, he used to do work with me. He was the greatest. Love that guy. They move up to big-time college basketball. A guy named Willie Sojourner. Let's see. All-American played here. The guy who named Dr. J, Julius Erving, Dr. J. Oh, yeah. Dr. J's best man in his wedding. They were both drafted. Virginia Squires. 1970s, 71-ish. Rookies. They roomed together. They both were traded to the New York Nets. They won the ABA title against the Utah Stars in 1974. He had a ring. Legendary basketball player. Big man. Incredible in this game. Justin Thigpen, Brady Small. I go on and on. These legendary players. But they always lose the big game. Then, you know, you can even fast forward. 1995. Ronald Baglin. Ruben Nemhart. I still say the best team they ever had. Sean Resper and Judd Heathcote got 15-point underdogs. Well, they beat them by 10, I think. Going to against Allen Iverson for the Sweet 16. Shut down Iverson to nothing. Ruben did. Ruben got a 10-day contract for that. No good, you know what. Jerry Sloan. Jerry Sloan. Oh my God, what a joke. Phil Johnson coached here at Weber State. How about the great Dick Motta coached here? Let's see, how many NBA titles does he have? Hall of Famer. Gene Vischer coached here. These legendary programs, but they always lose the big game. They did it again this year in football. They were ranked number 2 in the country against Maine. They lose. I call it the Wattis Curse. Oh, it's a curse. So Ruben in 95, the game's won. They got Iverson beat. They're ahead by 1, got the ball. Foul. Hardly any time left. He misses the front end of a 1-and-1. No time left. Hail Mary shot. Airball got tipped in like 83, which Val Vaughn cut down the nets on this university when they pulled the giant upset in 83. He died of cancer. See how our clock's doing. How's your eyeballs, Kevin? Let's start a new one.